Okay, so we're making challah today. We got some water in this bowl, and we're getting 3 tablespoons, right, Mom?
3 tablespoons of sugar.
3 tablespoons.
You don't have to measure that accurately. What it's going to do is it's going to give the yeast some food to feed off of.
Yeah, what she said.
And create the fermentation process.
Right, because the fermentation process is what we're all here for. Yeah!
Yeah!
Okay, so we're going to give it a quick stir. With this convenient whisk passed to me by a helper. And we're going to whisk it up. Ooh, man, that's dissolving pretty fast because the sugar molecules will break up, causing dissolving.
Now go get your recipe.
I'm going to go get my recipe because I'm not smart enough to memorize it. Secret recipe you guys can't know. No. Alright, so...
Read the big print now.
Big print now. Place water, blah, 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 place water in a very large bowl. Make sure water is no warmer than wrist temperature. Sprinkle in yeast, then let stand for 5 minutes until foamy.
Okay, get 1 package of yeast. Here's some scissors.
I got some scissors.
Over the bowl. First you have to tap it down. There you go.
I know. And here's the yeast going in. And we'll get you guys to look at this in a moment.
Then you're going to stir it so that the yeast dissolves.
Okay, let me let them see. So here's what's happening. I just added the yeast to the water. Now I'm going to stir until the yeast dissolves. You can see yeast is kind of like a sesame seed, except smaller, and it does a completely different thing.
It also has a smell.
Yeah, it smells good. I like the smell. You guys don't like the smell, you guys are crazy. Okay, so we're mixing it, and
then we're going to stop.
We're going to stop.
And notice that there aren't that many bubbles at the top of the bowl right now.
There aren't a lot of bubbles at the top of the bowl right now. Mom,
we're going to come back in 5 or 10 minutes. No, you have to keep going. Or you can just say this is 5 or 10 minutes later, whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah, so this is what it looks like now. And we're back in about 15 minutes. And now you can see that all these... Oop, touched it. Knock. These are all bubbles. And it's now foamy because the yeast reacts with the sugar and the water, making the CO2 bubbles that come up. And now it's all reacting and stuff. And the notes you took in class, all that's occurring here. Now what?
Well, now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients to make the bread. And then the yeast, which has been activated, will work with the gluten, and the gluten will be allowed to rise and be light and fluffy.
Yeah.
Because of the yeast.
Okay, well, shall we continue cooking?
Yeah, let's continue cooking. We've got to stir in 2 eggs.
Okay. Okay, egg me twice. So beat it up.
2 eggs. Let's put all the things in first, okay? 2 eggs, tablespoon of salt, which sounds like a lot, but it's not for 4 loaves of bread.
4, don't tell them.
Okay.
There, you guys, she meant 1. She meant 1. And you guys get that only 1. Because you're awesome.
Half a cup of oil.
You don't want to be in it.
I don't want to be in it.
Sorry, Mom. Half a cup of oil. Shush, buddy. Oop, that's a little over. Let's put a little back. Gotta have it perfect. Looks like half a cup to me. Does it look like half a cup to you guys? Huh? I thought so. Yeah. Okay, so we're putting a half a cup of oil in. How much?
And there's your salt. 1 tablespoon salt.
One tablespoon
Okay,
salt.
check your recipe. Make sure you have all the right things in it now.
Okay. Lukewarm water, yeast, half cup sugar, honey, 3 eggs, 1 tablespoon salt, vegetable oil, no raisins because raisins suck. Flour, we forgot flour.
Well, okay, so you still have sugar to add.
How
You
much?
need, you're going to add about 2/3 of a cup of sugar.
Perfect. Well,
Now you can use your whisk and stir everything vigorously.
Oh! Mom, can you take over for me?
No, this is your challah.
Can I take a 10-second break?
No, it's too thick.
Okay, so here's what it looks like now. It's like a nice watery mixture. And we're going to come back to you guys later. Okay, so now we finished kneading. And right now it's much more silky than it is. It's a combined thing. It's like, woo. So it's very nice kind of dough. That's what we're looking for.
And we're going to put it in the oil.
Mom, you're in the movie.
I don't want to be in the movie.
Okay.
And then we turn it over.
We oiled a bowl, and Mom, you're still in. Okay. So we oiled the bowl, and now we got this in the bowl, so now it's oily. Right now, this is what the dough looks like. Nice and oily. Notice how it is in the bowl. It's like kind of like 3/4 filling up the bowl. We're gonna put a nice towel over it. We're gonna leave it in a non-drafty warm place, which is right here. And we're gonna come back in 2.5 hours. We'll be back. Okay, so now we're done with the rising. We've been waiting for about 2.5 hours. And here it is. Da-da-da. Whoa. That's big, isn't it? It's just over the bowl. So now what we're going to do, we're going to knead it a little bit more. So, and then we make it into the bread shape. So,
Poke it down. Go ahead and put your hand in it. Now poke down.
ooh, oil. Now I take it out. Mom, they can hear you. Let me set this back up again. Stop. Put on this. Natural choice flour. Oh. So right now we're kneading it again, like we did previously. Now that's nice and big and like it's at least 2 times bigger, maybe even 3 times. But yeah, it really helps. Makes more quantity and tastes just as good. And the rising is a significant part to
The fermentation process.
Mom, you can tell them.
The yeast process.
To the yeast process.
Because what the rising does is it helps to distribute the yeast uniformly in the bread. It allows it to expand. What we're actually going to do next time, because that's called a warm rising when you put it in a warm spot with a towel on top, but we're going to do an overnight rising, which is actually a cold rising.
What we're gonna do, so right now she's gonna cut it. We're cutting it into fourths here, or eighths, or fourths. And then we're gonna make like little strings out of them. And each one of these is 1 whole challah, so it rises even more in the oven. So that's 1 whole challah. And she's gonna individually knead each of these. And actually, surprisingly, I'm gonna help.
Cut it into
Yeah, that sounds
thirds.
okay. This is about what a third is, right? Awesome. So now, what we're going to do is do what she's doing right there. We're going to just make it nice and long. She's doing the other technique. I'm doing the stretch technique. So this is kind of cool. You just kind of let it stretch. Make sure to make them long because you're going to be braiding this, like braiding hair. So make sure you make them long because if they're too short, then they're not good. And they're too thick to go over. And it just makes everything really complicated. So you want to make them nice and long, just as they are here. Okay. So this is from the point of view of the maker. So just like hair. Now it looks all pretty. And at the end, make sure you put them all together.
And turn them under.
And turn them under.
On both sides.
On both sides. We're gonna do the other two and put them on the tray, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute. So we did our 4 challahs, and they're going in the fridge. They're gonna sit there overnight.
And do what's called a cold rise.
They're gonna do a cold rise so that
First thing in the morning we can bake them in the oven.
Why did they do a cold rise and not just sit out? Mom.
Because you would have to bake them if you sat them out. You have to bake them. They'll rise in 24 hours. It slows down the yeast process if you do, but the yeast will still perform in the cold. It'll just slow it down.
Right. Rather than keeping it outside, it might rise a little more, and we don't want that. We like the size.
No, actually, they're going to get a little bit larger, and they'll get even larger still when we bake them.
Awesome. Let's do it. Okay, so we got our challahs that just came out of the fridge overnight. We're going to put them in the oven. They'll bake only for about 45 minutes, and then they'll be ready. They're rising, and they'll get bigger. Now we have our delicious, yummy looking challahs that we're ready to take out. So Mom and I are going to do the honorary taking out. Ooh, that looks yum. Okay, I'll do the other one. Where should I put it?
On top of this thing.
Watch me drop them. No. So there's our beautiful challahs, and you'll be eating them in a little bit. Yum. Special thanks to my mom who helped make the bread, my sister, my dad who stayed out of it the whole time, and myself for being such an awesome kid as I am, and making this baby right here. You guys can't see it until we get there. Bye.